All right, let's be honest. If you've ever booked a hotel online, you know that feeling, right? You click confirm, and this little knot of anxiety forms in your stomach. It feels less like a booking and more like you're just rolling the dice, hoping, praying that the room actually looks like the pictures. So how do we take that gamble out of your next Florida vacation? Let's get into it.
I mean, it really is a fair question, isn't it? You can spend hours, literally hours, scrolling through endless options, reading review after review, but at the end of the day, you just never really know what you're going to get until you swipe that key card and walk through the door.
And this quote, wow, it just hits home. It perfectly captures that make-or-break moment. You're exhausted from traveling, the kids are cranky, and all you want is for the room to be a sanctuary, not another problem to solve. Preventing that exact moment is what this is all about.
So, what's the deal? Why is this such a common headache for so many of us? Well, it turns out the problem is kind of baked right into the system of most booking websites. Let's take a look at why they so often let travelers down. Here they are, the usual suspects. First, you get these ridiculously long, overwhelming lists of every hotel under the sun. It's just decision paralysis. Then you've got the anonymous reviews. I mean, who wrote that? Was it a real guest or the hotel manager's brother-in-law? You just don't know. And of course, the photos, those perfectly lit, wide-angle shots that make a closet look like a suite. The whole system is built to show you everything, not just the stuff that's actually good. Okay, so if that's the broken model, what's the alternative? Well, you don't just tweak the system, you need a completely different philosophy. One that basically flips the entire approach on its head.
And just look at this side-by-side comparison. It's like night and day. On the left, you've got the Wild West of booking sites. On the right, you see a totally new game. Instead of listing every single property, they only list places they've actually vetted. Instead of anonymous reviews you can't trust, they demand video proof from real stays. And this is huge. They flat out reject payouts from hotels trying to buy a top spot.
So, trust is a great buzzword, but how do you actually build it? You know, it's one thing to make claims, but the real proof is in the process. And this vetting process is designed from the ground up to create genuine, undeniable confidence.
It all boils down to these 4 pillars. First, real video reviews. We're not talking about slick marketing videos. We're talking about walkthroughs filmed by real people during real stays. There's nowhere to hide. Second, they do their own unannounced inspections, so they get the same experience you would, not some polished tour for VIPs. Third, they focus on what actually matters to a traveler. Is it clean? Is it noisy? Is the staff helpful? And fourth, and this is key, they refuse to let hotels buy a good review. Period.
And this, right here, is the real game changer. The entire focus shifts away from the stuff that's easy to market, you know, the size of the pool, to the little details that can make or break your entire vacation, the stuff most sites just completely ignore.
And here's exactly what I'm talking about. We're not just talking clean, we're talking about checking the bathroom grout and corners, we're talking about the noise level from the air conditioner that could keep you up all night, the actual quality of the mattress, not just whether it's a king or a queen. They even dig into hidden fees and the true attitude of the staff. This is the stuff that matters.
And this number? 0. This might be the most important detail of all. That's the amount of money a hotel can pay to get a good review or a featured spot on their site. 0. Zilch. Nada. Placement has to be earned through quality. It can never ever be purchased.
This all leads to a really simple but powerful policy they call proof-based listing. The logic is airtight. If there's no undeniable proof that a hotel is great, mostly through those real, comprehensive video reviews, then it just doesn't get listed. It's a hard and fast rule that creates a foundation of trust. No proof, no listing.
Okay, so that's the how, but let's talk about the so what. What does all this intense, trust-focused work actually mean for you when you're sitting there trying to plan a trip? Well, it means you get matched with the right hotel for your specific needs. If you're a family, you can find a place that's genuinely quiet with amenities that actually work. If you're a couple, you can find real romance, not just some overpriced package. Budget travelers can finally avoid that nasty cheap resort surprise. And hey, if you're someone who cares more about a squeaky clean room than a fancy chandelier, you can actually find a place that gets it. Okay, but let's be real for a second. No hotel is absolutely perfect, right? So what happens when a vetted hotel has some flaws? Do they just sweep that under the rug to keep things looking good?
Nope, and this is where it gets really cool. They practice what you could call radical transparency. They lay it all out for you, the good and the bad. So you might see a hotel with absolutely stunning rooms, but they'll be upfront and tell you the Wi-Fi is terrible. Or a place with amazing 5-star service, but yeah, the curve appeal is pretty ugly. This lets you make an informed decision and choose your trade-offs.
At the end of the day, it all comes back to this one simple idea. The number one goal is to build a resource that travelers can actually trust. And when your top priority is trust, not sales commissions, your recommendations are based on reality, not on who's paying you the most.
And that really leaves us with a final thought to chew on. This whole model is built around putting trust back into a system that's kind of lost it. So it makes you wonder, what would travel planning look like if this level of verified, honest, transparent information wasn't the exception, but was just the standard for every single trip we book?